Other companies would go out and they would talk about their brand and why they're special and their values. What we talk about is, hey, you can actually do this. Let me tell you how many more options you have.
Galena from Sparefare, thank you so much for coming into the studio.
Thank you so much for having me, Mark. Glad to be here.
We're going to talk about your company Sparefare, and we're going to talk about what you do and why you do it, but we're also going to talk about some of the difficulties you've had in doing something new, because most people don't realize that you can actually do this, right? And you've had some people thinking it's a scam and some people going, can I really do this? So in a nutshell, tell us what Sparefare is.
Very easy. It's like eBay for travel reservations. If you can't travel, lots of the travel reservations are non-refundable, so you can't get your money back and you're kind of stuck. But luckily, a lot of the travel reservations are transferable. So you can change the name of the person who is traveling and you can sell your own ticket to someone else. And it works for flights, it works for hotel rooms, it works for package holidays. So it's a really good way for you to recover some of your money if you can't go, and then someone else gets a really cheap holiday. So it's a win-win for everybody.
I'm guilty of this at the moment because I'm constantly booking flights back to Dublin to see family and friends, and of course the girlfriend. Also, there's ones that are wasted that I can't get money back from, right? Because a typical scenario for me is I book a flight, a return flight to Dublin, and then I decide to go over a couple of days earlier. So my flight in between is wasted, right? So basically the information you've been getting back from some people is they don't realize that you can actually do this.
Yes,
right?
Unfortunately, a lot of people are still not very clear on what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
And people think that especially if you have a flight, they think, oh, if I can't go, my money is lost. But actually so many airlines allow name changes. There are over 60 airlines which allow name changes, which is how you transfer a flight in someone else's name, which is great. But airlines don't really publicize that information a lot. So a lot of people don't know that it's possible. So then when people hear about us, they're like, oh, is this real? Are you a scam? Are you just gonna steal my credit card information and then run off with my money? And I've had Facebook quarrels with people who are trying to tell me in caps, this is not possible. You cannot transfer flights. And I'm giving them links to the airline's terms and conditions. I'm like, it's on the airline's page, they've told you how much it costs, they've told you it's possible. And people still kind of, sometimes have a really hard time believing, but other times when people realize what we do, they're super happy, they're really glad that we're there. We get lots of really nice emails saying, so glad I found you, I wish I knew you existed sooner, you would have saved me so much money. Yes, but it is a struggle educating your market, because if people don't even know they can take advantage of your service, they wouldn't think to search online for you. They wouldn't think to even check if it's possible, because it's not, it's not in their mind.
I was going to say that to you. Like, how are you as a startup? Where you're going, what, 2 years?
Yeah.
How are you as a startup dealing with that? Because as I said, number one, it's not like you're just getting your brand out there. You're also getting your brand out there and convincing people that this is possible.
Exactly.
So what type of knock-on effects is that happening?
So our biggest struggle has always been educating the market and letting people know that this is possible. And because what we do is quite interesting and quite new, we've been so lucky with getting really a lot of publicity. So lots of travel journalists, travel bloggers, lots of magazines. And yes, what we do, other companies would go out and they would talk about their brand and why they're special and their values. What we talk about is, hey, you can actually do this. Let me tell you how many more options you have if you can't travel. Or hey, if you want a really cheap flight, do you know you can buy it from someone else and pay half of the money that you can actually pay. So a lot of the publicity has been just telling people you can really know about this, and then mentioning Sparefare somewhere down the line, just as a one-liner. So yeah, it has been a struggle just educating the market, but luckily nowadays more and more people have kind of started to realize that they can do this. And a lot of receptionists at hotels now actually tell their people, look, we can't refund you, but there are places where you can resell your reservation. So it's really good that I've started hearing this from clients.
Where are you marketing? Like, what works for you? Is it?
So everything is online,
Yeah.
just because the physical marketing is so expensive when you're a small startup.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's very difficult. So everything is online, and it's highly targeted groups for people who are interested in travel, digital nomads, so people who travel often and can really use the service. And it's worked really well for us so far.
Would you use, like, do you use Instagram for that?
Yeah, we also use Instagram for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Twitter and social media, and in combination with the really good PR that we've been getting, it's helping us get off the ground. But yeah, most of the time we don't really talk about us. We just kind of talk, hey, do you know that this is possible? This is the conversations that we're having.
Do you have much competition when it comes to this, because it's relatively new?
So yeah, the really good thing about being new is that you don't have a lot of competition, which is great.
Yeah.
But bedside it's a new market. People don't really know they can do this. So there's one company that does something similar to what we do, and there's two in the US who do this for hotel rooms only.
Hotel. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you do everything. You do hotels. You do package
Flights,
holidays.
package holidays, exactly, yeah. And because people don't know that specialist companies like us exist, they try to sell their flights and holidays on eBay and Gumtree and like general listing sites,
Yeah.
but there are lots of trust and confidentiality issues.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, which we've taken care of, but they don't know that we exist, so they try to sell their holidays on general listing sites like that. So I guess you could say they're also competition at that stage.
So who looks after the name change on, say, flights? Is it your company that looks after that?
So no, it's always the seller, because the seller is the only person who's got access to the online account used to
Right.
purchase the flight, and I can't call the company and change someone else's flight.
Okay.
So they have to change it, and then we check it.
Okay, so do you manage everything though in between, is it?
Absolutely, yeah. So we act as an escrow agent. We get the money from the buyer. We hold the money with us until the person makes the name change. They pay for any name change fees, if there are any, for the flights there are.
Yeah.
And then they give us all of the information, and then we check that flight is real, that everything is correct, that no one's messed up the dates, that the name has been transferred correctly, that there are no spelling mistakes, all of those small
Yeah.
issues. And then when the person flies or they check into their hotel or holiday, then we send the seller the money. And this prevents a significant portion of like the fraud, which some people try to do, like selling flights which don't exist, or they can change the name 5 times, sell the
Yeah,
single
I get
flight
you, yeah.
to 5 different people. So yeah, this is how we're different from eBay and Gumtree, for example.
Are people using the site in order to just get a percentage of the money back that they spent on a flight? Or could someone go on and go, right, I bought a flight for £50, right? But I know the flights now on that date are £300, but I'll sell my flight for £200. Are they making money on it as well, or is it just to recoup some of the...
So it's not very, it's difficult to make money off of it, just because, yes, flight prices can go up, absolutely, but airlines charge name change fees, and sometimes
Okay.
they're significant. So you have to discount the name change fee. And then the buyer on Sparefare is also going to want to discount. So
Yes.
you also have to factor in that discount. And then we charge a commission, so you have to factor in that. And also there's absolutely no guarantee that someone will buy your flight. It might go unused. So
Yeah.
it's not like concert tickets where you have a huge fan base, a very limited number of tickets, and you know that there will be a fan out there who wants to buy it. With travel, it's much more varied. Like, if a flight is too expensive, someone can take a different airline, you fly on a different date, so there's no guarantee that you're ever gonna sell the flight at all.
Do you know what type of value there is out there on wasted tickets, wasted money?
Yeah, just in the UK, there are over 7 million tickets which can and should be resold every year. So
Okay.
that's huge. And if you consider
7 million tickets?
yeah,
Wow.
absolutely, that's huge. And globally, for hotel reservations, £2 billion are wasted every year.
Just not on hotels, just not used and paid for?
Absolutely, yes, yeah, absolutely. So it's huge. Lots of people can't travel, plans change, people
Yeah.
travel more and more, so those numbers are only going to go up.
If people want to hear more on, I want to get rid of my flights, or even try and get cheap flights, where do we go? What do we do?
So come to our website, sparefare.net. Huge list of information about airlines, what you can, what you can't. You can always get in touch with our customer service. We can talk through to you about your flights. But yeah, there's lots of educational material on the website.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm going to try and get rid of my middle ticket if I can.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope we can help you.
Thank you.